Hi, we are going live. How are you guys doing? Yes, we're going live now. How's everybody doing? Good afternoon. Today we're going to do something different, guys. We're going to do something different, okay? You notice how I don't have music playing in the background? The reason why is because I'm trying to get YouTube views. And in order to get YouTube views, we have to do this different, okay? So there's gonna be no music playing in the background. Is that okay? Cool. Now let's get started. The title of this lesson is this: when you raise taxes, you lose people. Let me say it again. When you raise taxes, you lose people. Now, why did I title it that way? And today's title is that. Why did I title it that way? Well, because what you got to understand is when you raise taxes, you destroy opportunities. You ruin opportunities when you raise taxes. California and New York, they're finding that out the hard way. California and New York raise taxes, and people are leaving the state left and right. And the question that I want to ask you guys is why? Why are people leaving the state left and right? Well, it's because of high taxes. You see, let me explain something here. Let me set up. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. Let me explain something to you. Whenever you raise taxes, everything else goes up with it. And then what happens is you discourage business owners. You discourage business owners from wanting to do business with you. Okay? Because why would I do business with you and pay more taxes? That doesn't make any more sense. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense that I would do business with you only to pay more in taxes. That doesn't make sense. And see, this is the point that I was trying to point out earlier. When you raise taxes, you destroy businesses. And California and New York is finding that out the hard way. Now, you might ask, what does this have to do with real estate? Well, I'll tell you what it has to do with real estate. It has to do a lot with real estate. Let me explain why. Buying homes in California and in New York is not a good idea. If you live in California or if you live in New York, buying a home is not a good idea. Buying a home is not a good idea if you live in California and New York. The reason why is because of the fact that California and New York have the highest taxes. This is why people are relocating elsewhere. They're not going to California and New York no more because it's too expensive. Taxes are too high. That's why people are going to places like Arizona. They're going to Arizona, Texas, Utah, places where it's cheaper to do business. They're not going to places like California and New York because taxes are too high. And today, this is what we're going to tackle today is taxes. Because I feel like we need to tackle this. Otherwise, we will never have an understanding of how the economy works. So let me explain to you how this works, okay? Let's say you get a business owner, a man that has an ideal that's trying to start his own business, okay? What's going to hurt that business owner is high taxes. Because if his taxes are too high and he can no longer do business with you because of the high taxes, you got a problem. You got a problem. And see, that business owner, the reason why he went into business is so he can make money. Not lose money, make money. Guys, what you guys got to understand is this. The reason why people go into business is to make money, not to lose money. Businesses are designed to make money. See, one of the biggest problems with people today is you got so many people who don't know the difference between a profit and a profit margin. There's a difference. There's a difference between a profit and a profit margin. Let me say it again. There's a difference between a profit and a profit margin. Guys, listen to me. There's a difference between a profit and a profit margin. Let me explain. Let's say I sell soda, right? Let's make up a brand. Let's say I sell, I don't know, Coca-Cola, right? I sell Coca-Cola, which is a soda brand, right? So my profit might be $1 million. However, my profit margin is only $200,000. So my profit margin was only $250,000, but my profits was $1 million. And see, a lot of people don't understand that because a lot of people see rich people as making money and not paying their fair share. But see, that's not how you need to look at that. You need to look at it like this. If their profit margin is high, then their profits will be high. That's how you need to look at it. The problem is that people in this country are so dumb. They don't know the difference between a profit and a profit margin. If you're selling soda for $1 million, okay? Yeah, let's say you're selling Coca-Cola soda, okay? For $1 million, your profit is $1 million. However, your profit margin was only $230,000. And this is something that people don't understand. So now here's the question that I want to propose to you guys. Here's a question that I want to propose to you guys. Okay? Why are so many people leaving California and leaving New York? Let me ask that question again. Why are so many people leaving California and New York? Think about it. Just think about it, okay? Think about it. Why are so many people leaving? They're leaving California and New York. Why? Think about it. Why? Why are so many people leaving California and New York? Let me explain why. It's because of taxes. Taxes are high. See, when you have high taxes like that, people are not reluctant to do business with you because if they have to lose money to do business with you, remember what we said earlier. Business owners are only in it to make profits, right? They're in it to make money. So if they're losing money behind high taxes, they're not going to want to do business with you. And whenever we try to explain this to people, people are just like dumbfounded, like they're shocked. They're like, "Man, I don't understand why California and New York people are not willing to stay there." Yeah, because taxes are high. It costs too much money. Now, what does this have to do with real estate? Let me tell you what this has to do with real estate, okay? And I need you guys to pay attention. Real estate works the same way. When you're trying to buy a house, you do not want to pay high taxes on that house. You do not. It is cheaper to come to Arizona and Texas where taxes are low and buy a house there than it is for you to go to California and New York. California and New York is expensive. That's why people are not going over there to do business, because it's expensive to do business over there. If you live in California or if you live in New York, chances are you are paying high taxes. You are paying high taxes. And you're also paying a high property taxes as well. So what people are doing is people are going to Arizona, they're going to Texas, they're going to Salt Lake, Utah, because it's cheaper to do business. Okay? I was watching the news, and the news was saying that a lot of people who want to do real estate come to Arizona or they go to Texas. They do not go to California and New York and places like that. They do not go to places like that because it's too expensive. The cost of living is too expensive. So this is why people are leaving California and leaving New York in droves, because it's too expensive. I knew this one business owner. He left New York because taxes were too high, and he relocated in places like Florida and Arizona because taxes are cheaper there. When you raise taxes, you also raise the price of goods. And this does affect real estate. It does affect real estate. If you're paying a high tax in places like New York and California, it affects real estate. It affects buying a house tremendously. This is why you guys got to start paying more attention to who you elect in office and stuff like that. Because if they start raising taxes, it's going to hurt businesses. It's also going to hurt real estate as well. You're also going to hurt the very people who you claim to protect. You're going to hurt them as well. Higher taxes equals higher inflation, which means higher price. So now if you're in real estate, your houses are going to be more expensive in real estate because taxes are high. This is why it's not a good deal. Now, with that being said, people are leaving. People are leaving California and they're leaving New York. Why? Because like we just said, high taxes. Think about it. High taxes kills businesses. It also kills the real estate market. The real estate market is at its all-time high. So people who live here, people who live in Arizona and Texas, okay, are going to always be better off than people who live in California and New York. Why? Because of high taxes. High taxes is what gets you all the time. Now, when you're buying a home, guys, I also want you to keep in mind that depending on where you live, the more expensive the houses market is going to be. If you live in New York or if you live in California, taxes are going to be at its all-time high. So if you live in places like New York or California where taxes are at its all-time high, expect to pay more. Expect to pay more. And this affects you as a real estate agent, and it affects you as a real estate buyer. Let me say it again. High taxes, high inflation affects you as a real estate agent, and it affects you as a real estate buyer as well. So this is one reason why the housing market keeps going up. Now, guys, I want you guys to also understand this. There's a theology going on here. It's a dangerous ideology. It's a dangerous ideology and a dangerous theology as well. See, you got people in this country who feel like how do they feel? They feel like if they raise taxes on people, that it's going to somehow make everything fair. No, it isn't. Let me tell you why. Raising taxes on people is not going to make things fair. It's going to make things a lot worse, because you cannot legislate equality. Let me say that again. You cannot legislate equality. There are some people who are better looking than others. There are some people who make more money than others. There are some people who work harder than others. This ideal that you're going to somehow legislate behavior, it's a stupid ideal, and it's a dangerous one. There are some people who work harder than other people, and so therefore they make more money than other people. So this ideal that you're going to somehow legislate behavior, that's very, very dangerous. That is very, very dangerous. And I do not advocate higher. I do not advocate for higher taxes. I do not, because it hurts businesses and it hurts the real estate market as well. So guys, let me tell you something about equality. Equality does not mean we're all going to be equal. It does not mean that. It also does not mean that raising taxes is going to help the poor. No, it isn't. What you guys got to understand is the reason why the poor stay poor is not because of greedy rich people, or because of selfish people. It's not because of that. The reason why poor people stay poor is because they do not have the drive to make themselves rich. They don't. And raising taxes is not going to help them, and it's not going to help the real estate. It's not going to help the real estate market at all either. It's not going to help real estate agents either. So what you guys got to understand is this. You need to prioritize your time and your wisdom. You need to prioritize that. You need to figure out whether or not you are going to make it in this world or not make it in this world. Who you are, what you decide to do, and how you decide to do it is really up to you. There is no legislation. There is no legislation that's going to bring equality at all. When you're buying a house, you have to use common sense. Okay? You need to buy small homes. You hear me say this on this program all the time. You need to buy small homes. You hear me say this all the time. Small homes. Small so you can own them quicker. Small so you can afford them. Okay? And you need to buy a used home. A home that already's been used. Guys, I know this sounds kind of strange, but let me just say this. The older the house, the more better the house becomes. Let me say it again. The older the house is, the better. The older the house is, the better. You want to buy an older house, okay? Because it's going to be cheaper to buy an older home. A home that is used and small. A home that is used and small. So that way you can own your house quicker and not have to pay so much owning it. And you don't have to take out a huge loan sum to own the house. You could just buy a used home, buy the title off someone, or buy what is called a home loan from someone, or a grant from someone, or even a deed. You could buy a land deed from somebody. But it needs to be in that order, guys. Do not buy a brand new home. Do not, and I do mean do not buy a brand new home. You need to buy a used home, an affordable home, a home that you can pay off quicker, a home that's used and affordable, a home that you can pay off quicker. Do not buy a brand new home. Do not. Also, guys, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Do not buy a home in California. Do not buy a home in California, and do not buy a home in New York. If you live in California, you need to relocate here to Arizona or Texas to buy a home. Do not try to buy a home in California. Do not. It is too expensive. And do not try to buy a home in New York either. Do not. Guys, the closer you are to the beach where there's water, the more expensive it's going to be. So if you live in California or if you live in New York and you live on the beachfront or the beach side, expect to pay more. Expect to pay more. You're going to pay a much higher price to live there because you're trying to own a home there. Expect to pay more. If you live in California or you live in New York and you live on a beach, the beach property where there's water, you live on the beach property where there's water, expect to pay more. And so with that, guys, understand, do not live in New York and do not live in California. It's too expensive. Okay? And I would like to do a price comparison compared to California, New York, and Arizona and Texas. I would like to do a price comparison just to show you guys how much more expensive it is. I know in California, for a one-bedroom apartment, you're looking at $1,300, $1,500 a month. $1,300, $1,500 a month for a one-bedroom apartment in California. And in New York, you're looking at $1,800 a month for a one-bedroom apartment. Somewhere in the neighborhood between $1,300 or $1,800 a month for a one-bedroom apartment. Ridiculous. 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 You're better off staying here in Arizona or Texas. You're way better off here in Arizona and Texas. You are way, way, way better off here in Arizona and Texas, okay? Far from it. Far from it. So guys, don't buy a place in California or New York. It's too expensive. Also, there's nothing wrong with being average. There's nothing wrong with being average. There's nothing wrong with being poor. Why do I say that? Well, I notice that a lot of people who are buying homes, the reason why they're buying these big homes is because they're trying to impress people. Listen, you should not have to impress anybody when you're buying a home or when you're taking out a loan to buy a home. You shouldn't be trying to impress nobody. Buying a home is crucial for you, not because you're trying to impress anybody, but you're trying to do it for you. You don't need a lot of money to buy a home. And that's another point that I need to make clear on. You don't need a lot of money to buy a home. You don't. You can go on Amazon, Craigslist, eBay, and you can purchase a home off of those websites for really, really cheap. Really, really cheap. Let me say it again. Amazon, Craigslist, eBay. These are all places where you can buy a home for very, very cheap. Let me say it one more time. Amazon, eBay, and Craigslist. You can buy a home off of those websites for really, really cheap. You should not go into debt just to buy a home. Also, guys, there's nothing wrong with living in a trailer. Try living in a trailer. See if you like it. There's nothing wrong with living in a trailer, guys. If you have to live in a trailer to survive, good for you. There's nothing wrong with that. I would go look for a trailer to live in because it's a lot cheaper to rent in a trailer. Also, try a one-bedroom apartment. Try a one-bedroom unit. Okay, it's cheaper to do it that way as well. So guys, I love you, and I just wanted to share those thoughts with you guys. I love you. The point is, you don't need a lot of money to buy a home. You don't have to be wealthy to buy a home. You could buy a used home. You could also buy a land deed and get a home that way. You don't need to go into debt trying to get a home. So guys, I just want to let you guys know I love you. Thank you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. And also too, I need more viewers. Guys, help me. Help me. I need more viewers. So if you can, turn more viewers onto me. Make sure you hit the like button and make sure you hit the subscribe button. This is Eli West, 675, the real estate guy. Thank you. I'm also new to YouTube, guys. I'm very new. I am very new to YouTube. So I really need your help. I really need some help here because I'm new to YouTube. So I really need some help. Guys, I love you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. This is Eli West. Bye-bye.